answer to those questions. Let's go to ABC 7's Heather Ishimaru. She's in the newsroom. Heather.
Dan, nitric acid is poisonous. If you drink it, it could kill you. It can burn through metals, and just breathing in the fumes can cause your lungs to fill with liquid. So what's it doing on our highways? Well, it turns out American industry practically couldn't get along without it. Nitric acid is a highly caustic, corrosive substance. At high concentrations, like this one at 90%, it produces fumes. The manufacturer says the nitric acid in today's spill was 70% clear and odorless, like this bottle in a UC Berkeley lab.
You don't want to breathe in the fumes. If you get a little bit of it on your skin, it'll turn the skin brown. If you get a lot of it on your skin, it may eat into you. And
yet it's used in making everything from fertilizer to silicon wafers and explosives.
It's one of the most widely used industrial process chemicals in the country.
So it's routinely transported all across the country. Napa hazmat firefighter Greg Falkenthal says the Department of Transportation strictly regulates how nitric acid is transported.
It's one of those accepted things that hazardous materials are transported up and down our highways every day. And 99 and 9/10% of the times, there's never an incident.
Pittsburgh-based General Chemical Company manufactured the nitric acid that spilled on 880. A company spokesman says the 330-gallon Teflon-lined plastic drum contained the only nitric acid in that shipment, headed for a Washington State silicon wafer manufacturer. The 13-hour cleanup process required hazmat crews to suit up in vapor-tight, high-tech plastic suits like these, with layers and layers of gloves.
You have 2 pairs of gloves on inside under these gloves, and then you have at least 1 pair of gloves over the top of these, sometimes 2.
Precautions against the acid that can ignite asphalt and strip the enamel off your teeth. Falkenthal says hazardous materials manufacturers are required to provide shipping papers that are stored in the truck driver's door, or at least within their reach. That paperwork includes all kinds of detailed information about the hazardous shipment and how it should be handled. In this case, General Chemical says it also sent personnel to the accident. In the newsroom, Heather Ishimaru, ABC 7 News.
All lanes of northbound 880 are closed this morning as hazmat teams work to clean up a spilled acid from a big rig crash today, June 20th, 2002.
Live from around the Bay, NBC3 Today starts now.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Laura Garcia-Cannon.
And I'm Brent Cannon. We'll update the morning forecast in just a moment, but first we want to get to our top story. An already slow morning commute through the East Bay may get even slower this morning. All northbound lanes of Interstate 880 in Fremont are closed after a truck carrying acid overturned late last night. NBC3's Ben Moore is live at the scene. He's got the latest for us. Ben?
And Brent, right now I am standing in the middle of northbound 880 because it is completely shut down. Now, emergency crews have been out here for about 5 hours trying to figure out how to handle this hazardous material spill from this big rig truck that you see back here. The truck was heading on northbound 880 near Thornton and Fremont when it was involved in an accident with 3 other cars. The big rig overturned and chemicals began to spill out of the back. The truck was carrying a 355-gallon drum of nitric acid, a very hazardous chemical. Now, 880 northbound remains shut down while emergency crews in special suits carefully clean up the spill. So far, there have been no evacuations to this area, but with a dangerous situation like this one, things could change very quickly.
And now the nitric acid, the components or characteristics of nitric acid is that it will eat through metal. Certainly it's dangerous to people. That's why we're upwind and upgrade. It is also an oxidizer, which means it's going to intensify if it does catch fire, which why we've got firefighters standing by on hose lines.
Just about 5 minutes ago, we saw them bring in a front loader to see how they're going to transport those chemicals off of this truck onto another one. We also understand at this time that nitric acid can be very dangerous if you get near it and inhale it. We are detecting somewhat of an odor out here of that acid at this time. As for the injuries out here, we understand